Hello, Mr. Tellman. My name is Ryan Larson, and I want to thank you for taking your time to interview me today.
Hello. Thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away.
All right.
Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues.
Of course.
Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Yes, of course. So the community issue that I picked out for the beginning of the semester is track, and the reason I picked that is because personally I love track as a person. It's something that's inspired me to go really hard and try new things, and I wanted people to kind of see why I enjoy it, and I wanted people to know the benefits of doing track. However, I found out that track doesn't exactly have the best way of expanding out information to everyone else. So, after a couple of speeches, I decided to move on to distracted driving because distracted driving is a major problem in this community, and there's so much things that people could learn if they heard about all the facts about distracted driving.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action.
Yes.
Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Okay, yes, that's a very great question, Mr. Tellman. The reason that we picked our group discussion, which was why the school should change their grading methods, is because a lot of students have a lot of pressure that's put on them throughout school, and we wanted to kind of see if people would agree with why we wanted to change the grading method to kind of relieve all that stress that's put on them. And so that's why our call to action was changing school methods so that kids don't have to worry so much about tests and all that kind of stuff.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
Okay. Yes, that's a very great question indeed. So if I were to have to look at the view of my partners, being as we did a three-man team for our community issue, I would have to say that they would probably think I put in the work to kind of help them out. I presented a strong piece with my speech part. I probably could have put in a little bit more practice as both an individual and as a group member so that our speech could be a little bit stronger. But altogether, I think that they would agree with me when I say that I put in a very strong part of the speech.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
Okay, yes, that's a great question. There's always a lot of things that come up when you're having to work with a team, and with more people, it's harder. Sometimes when you have a bigger group, you can kind of break off into groups and get these things done. That's kind of what we did with our group because a lot of our time schedules were really mixed up. Some of them had classes at the same time I did. Sometimes they had classes when I was free. I worked two jobs, making it a lot harder for me to meet up with them. So I would say our biggest problem was probably trying to get together to put our pieces together. What we did is most of our work was put together through one little teeny document. However, we never really met face to face except for one time a week. And if we had more time to, meet together, I think we probably would have had a stronger speech. So I think probably time would have been the biggest problem there.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
Wonderful question, Mr. Tellman. There's a lot of things that I can take away from Com 110. It's a really great class, and it's really helped me even improve my speaking skill. I used to do speech when I was a kid, and I've learned a lot of things, but this really helps me to think of ways of persuading people, using skills to kind of get people to listen to me, kind of take the bite off of whatever I'm saying. So I think the best part of Com 110 would probably be the way that it teaches you to talk itself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We'll
Yes,
probably
of
be in
course.
touch with you in the next few weeks or so. Take care.
All right. Thanks. You too, Mr. Tellman.